Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the American Sports Connection. I'm your host, the one and only Joey Railroads. I'm here with my buddy Raga. How you holding up, dude?
What's going on, guys? And Mike and people listening all over the world. I'm doing good.
Yeah, you're, what are you, 4 days post-op?
Yeah, I had it Monday, so all the dates have been blurred together. I kind of can't believe I've spent 4 days in this contraption already. For those of you who haven't seen, it looks like a weightlifting belt mixed up with a sling, and they're attached, so it keeps my arm like at my side the whole time, and it sucks, and I can't move. But yeah, it's part of healing, and sleeping sucks, and yeah.
I can only imagine, dude. Do you have to lay flat?
Yeah, and like I had taken a nap yesterday, and I was kind of like sideways, and it was comfortable. Like I didn't wake up in pain, so I was like, all right, awesome, I evolved. Like I could sleep a little bit sideways. And it's okay, because I did it for 2 hours. Man, I woke up this morning, and I thought I was gonna fucking die. I was like, what did I do? I hurt myself so bad. The pain was so bad, I was nauseous. Like, I have never felt pain like that in my life.
Oh my god, that's terrible.
Yeah, it was real bad, but, managed to open up, like, just another thing that I don't get. You get some, like, the pharmacist sees I have surgery. They give me, like, a child-proof thing to open up.
Yeah.
How the fuck am I supposed to open up a thing with a child lock on it? Like, I can't turn anything. Like, can't I have, like, the pop top?
Yeah, but, like, don't you know my arm's screwed up?
So, this week I've spent a lot of times with jars and bottles between my knees trying to open things up, because I have no real grip with my right hand right now.
Yeah, but it'll eventually get better.
Yeah, it's just me complaining now. It's just impatience. The pain doesn't so much bother me, because it's not all day. It's here and there, so I can deal with it. But when it happens, I'm always afraid, because it's after hours of it not hurting, and I'm like, what did I do to myself?
Yeah, so I understand, dude.
And with it being so big, I'm just, any way that it moves could potentially hurt it. So it's just, Monday I find out how well it's healing and how good it is. So
well, hopefully everything goes well.
Absolutely. So how about some wrestling talk?
To start the show, since this is the most recent thing that happened, we're going to go and talk about NXT.
All right.
Yeah, you just briefly brought this up. They put on television the poster child for steroids, Dan Matha.
Yeah, whoever the fuck this guy is, like, I'm looking at his promo, and honestly, honest to God, and I'm not being a cynic, I'm not being a mark. First thing I notice about this guy is this guy has acne all over his chest and all over his back. This is before he's even come out. This is on his vignettes when they say Dan Math is up next. For those of you who don't know, the most telltale sign of steroid abuse is body acne.
Mm-hmm.
He's the walking poster child for I take steroids. And I don't want to hear anything else. Like, the kind of acne he has that's years of steroid abuse.
And it's crazy to me because he's, like, frighteningly huge.
Yeah, like, you're not fooling anybody. Like, this guy is ginormous, and he's covered in acne.
The thing that made me laugh that I just mentioned to you before we got on was they, like, were building him up to be like this huge thing, and then like Samoa Joe punks him out in like 30 seconds.
Yeah, didn't really get that.
That was a strange thing. And then the other I thought was kind of interesting was the debut of Patrick Clark.
I think you called me before that got on, so I really didn't get up to that today.
That was it was him and Rich Swann.
I didn't see it. I was kind of skipped.
It was good. They had Patrick Clark doing like
the Donald Trump gimmick.
like a gold dust kind of gimmick.
Oh, so they're not with the Donald Trump gimmick anymore?
No, he wore like these really weird, like tight leather pants and was like blowing kisses and that kind of thing. I was like, well, this is different.
Oh shit, Orlando Jordan 2.0.
Basically, but it wasn't terrible. Peyton Royce had a match against who the hell? Somebody that was new that I'm not familiar with.
Peyton Royce was wearing the green, right?
Yes.
Okay, so yeah, I was more looking for like the big segments, and I know I really should have watched more, but after I was like, I fucking hate the Authors of Pain, so the one thing I did watch was the first match. I know, you were just
annoyed with it.
And I'm like, alright, fucking NXT this week, because...
Yeah, they gave like the Bollywood Boys like 2 minutes with them.
Yeah, and I think they may realize, like, oh fuck, we set the wrong guys out to go job out that quickly, because they were over as fuck.
Yeah, I like the Bollywood Boys.
I do too. I just think that WWE would have them get very stereotypical, like more so. I mean, like,
I know what you mean.
Their gimmick is very Indian enough for me as it is with the fucking dancing. I could see that getting very cheesy in a heartbeat.
Well, that's WWE's shtick, you know?
If they ever got to the main roster, I promise you, they'll be like cousins of fucking Jinder Mahal, and they'll be like a shitty, like, 3-man band version.
Yeah, I know what you mean. The only other really big thing was the Revival winning a really good, exciting match against Cien Almas and Cedric Alexander.
Yeah, and that's when Almas turns heel.
Almas finally turned.
Oh, good, he's getting booed to begin with. Now watch, next week no one's going to give a flying fuck.
He got booed out of the building when he did that.
Watch, next week no one's going to give a flying fuck. They're going to be like, oh, okay.
I was just like, well, at least he's getting some reaction now.
Absolutely. I just think they need to make Ava Marie champion, have her beat Shinsuke Nakamura.
That equals ratings.
I think it would be great. Have her beat Shinsuke with like a finger poke. I have him sell it.
You could be like Max Caster from Creative Pro, who does the off the top rope eye poke.
There you go.
That's the funniest shit I've ever seen. But that was really all that happened on NXT. What did you think of Raw from what you saw?
Raw's fucking terrible. I'm not with the whole... Like, I'm over Chris Jericho. I don't get why people are so into that. Like, I know a lot of people like it. I don't like this Jericho. It's just, go away already. You're old. Like, I don't know. I don't like this Jericho.
I really enjoyed the T.J. Perkins-Brian Kendrick match.
So did I. And I like the fact, again, they're letting him wrestle as a real heel. Again, there's something I never saw before, where he had his hand in the turnbuckle thing, and he was standing on it with his fingers bent the wrong way. Like, that, to me, I was like, that's awesome. Like, I've never seen that.
Hey, like I have said before, heaven forbids a heel use heel tactics.
Yeah, more or less, yeah.
And you had mentioned this, that people were upset that Perkins lost in his hometown.
Yeah, look, I want to explain something to people. Losing in and of itself is not jobbing, is not being buried. Losing in your hometown is not being buried. Being pinned clean in 30 seconds is being buried. The guy lost after, like a 5, 7, 10-minute match to an eye poke, and the ref fucked up. There was supposed to be a ref bump that you could see because Perkins looked at the ref like, oh, are you okay? And then was rolled up. He got beaten by heel tactics in his hometown.
Plus, it gives Kendrick credibility to where they can have another title match.
Yeah, you can argue, like, oh, he beat him. It doesn't matter how he beat him. But he beat him, and now, yeah, like Mike said, now you can have another like justify another title match before going their separate ways.
Yeah, because I figure they'll throw their match on the Hell in a Cell pay-per-view.
Is that a SmackDown pay-per-view?
Raw.
Oh, that's right. They're on.
It's the end of the month.
Yeah, no, you're right.
Which, I'll give a name drop. Natural Born came up with a fantastic idea that they should change that pay-per-view to Halloween Havoc.
That's not a bad idea.
Because it's like the 30th of the month, I think. That's what I said. I was like, that's a fantastic idea.
Yeah, that could be interesting.
The other thing I enjoyed on Raw was the match with the New Day and Jericho and Owens. But I was shocked how long they let them go.
Yeah. But, I mean, like, I don't know, for all of those, like, that long segments, like, probably the easiest produced segment of the night.
Yeah.
So.
And then, I didn't know this, they must have just gave the New Day this name. Their finisher is now called the Midnight Hour.
And it's been like that since a long time.
Oh, it shows you how much I paid.
Yeah, no, they've called that possibly even before they became like the New Day that they are now.
Okay. Because I heard it and I was like, well, I never heard that before.
Yeah, no, for whatever reason, that's a name that they've had for a while.
Here's the funny thing about Raw, because I found this out through somebody else. The guy that got squashed by Braun Strowman...
Okay.
Chase Silver, he I can't remember what exactly he said when they interviewed him. Something weird, like when they asked him, like, you know, how do you feel about wrestling Braun Strowman, and he was like, you know, like, I like, you know, oily men, or something weird he said with like a straight face.
Well, wasn't it like that was like 3 weeks ago. Right.
Well, that guy is, like, selling shirts with that online now and making, like, a ton of money.
Of course, because he's trying to be like Ellsworth, which I know I kind of marked out yesterday, but I don't get why people are so into fucking jobbers. Like, I don't get the whole James Ellsworth thing. Like, I marked yesterday when he responded to me.
Yeah, that was really cool that he did that.
But in general, I don't understand, like, when you got talents that are there, I don't know. I just don't get it at all. People are stupid. It
almost makes me feel like they want to, like, try and make him the WWE's version of Mikey Whipwreck.
Or, even more recent, Colin Delaney.
Yeah, there you go.
That's exactly what this whole thing has reminded me of, Colin Delaney.
That's a good comparison.
Well, that was his exact fucking gimmick, was he was a indie guy trying to get a contract with the WWE and was getting his ass fucking kicked every week. Like, that was his exact gimmick.
Yeah.
And then he turned on Tommy Dreamer and they tried to make him a heel.
Yeah. I really liked also the Cruiserweight match with Tony Nese and Rich Swann.
Yeah, both of them are main talents.
And I thought it was cool to see Nese go over because he's really the only other heel that they have right now in that division.
They haven't done anything with Gallagher yet, right?
No.
He's going to be the next one going for the title, I think.
It makes sense.
I mean, he's the only other contracted guy that's a heel.
Yeah. Because Tony Nese is basically on like a work relationship through Evolve.
Yep.
But that makes total... Maybe they're waiting until after Hell in the Cell to bring Gallagher out after they have the blow-off with Perkins and Kendrick.
What's that? Oh.
See, this is what happens in the Northeast, ladies and gentlemen, with all the friggin' pollen.
Wow. Is weed a pollen?
Yeah, I'll go along with that.
Okay, yeah, fucking pollen. But yeah, look, here's another thing. People also had the same complaint. Where's Sasha? They're not doing anything with Sasha. They brought her up to the main roster, and they're not even using her. She hasn't been on TV in months. Not since she's been brought up. She's a two-time Diva champion. You can't have them all on TV at the same time, because then you fucking dilute them.
You're going to turn them into Roman Reigns, where you, like, shove them down your throat every week.
Yeah, it's like overexposure. There's a reason why Brock Lesnar only does certain pay-per-views. Because if he fought every month, nobody would give a fuck.
Yes.
I don't even want to see Goldberg issue, rumor. You can, but I have no comment on that.
I don't believe it because Goldberg has admitted on social media that he just had both of his knees surgically repaired.
But just as in how long ago?
Like SummerSlam time.
Huh.
Like, there's no way he would be ready in time unless he just had, like, a cleanup.
Yeah, or unless this has been set up for a while, and this has just been him selling it the whole time.
That, too.
But I'm with you. I don't believe it, but I just like to play devil's advocate a little bit.
No, it's more fun that way.
Well, yeah, so you don't get caught off guard.
Yes.
I think that's why I drive everybody crazy, because I come off like I get it all. I'm kind of like, sometimes people don't think of everything, and not that I do, but...
Box.
Oh, yeah, I will. I mean, like, I can argue just about anything. I'm sure you know that.
Oh, yeah. The only other thing I really wanted to touch on was the main event with Sasha and Charlotte. I thought it was very good.
Yeah, I think I'm going to be talking about that for a long time.
Yeah, I mean, if you, like I had mentioned to someone else, if you really want to get nitpicky, I don't like the belt, flip-flopping so much, but other than that, that's really it.
Yeah, I don't mind it between the two of them. Because then, like, Zach could at least maybe show, like, a good rivalry. If it was being bounced around, like, 5 other people, then or, like, even one other person, yes, I agree. I think it diminishes the title. I think in this situation, though, it can make it look like they're so equal. Like, they're equal contenders on any given night. On a Raw, on a SmackDown, you never know with these two. So long as it doesn't become, like, an every rivalry thing, once, I think it can work. It's like, this is the rivalry. Austin had Rock.
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
Yeah, I mean, but yes, I agree with you. I don't like flipping titles back and forth too often between people. I think like Ziggler holding the title for like 11 minutes and things like that. Like things like that, I think do a lot to diminish the title.
Right. And they had a pretty clean match for them because the last couple were kind of sloppy.
I know. What's her name? Charlotte did something on the outside where I was just like,
the corkscrew moonsault.
I know. Was it that or no? I did. It was when she was supposed to push Sasha into the ring, like into the ring apron. It just looked so sloppy, and Sasha ended up in the ring instead of actually hitting the ring apron.
Yes, I know what you're talking about. Well, when she did the corkscrew moonsault, she barely even touched her. She like almost clotheslined her. It was like
okay.
I mean, it was really cool what she did, but she was just off a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, like, look, I know I should have.
This is like really nitpicking.
Oh no, but like, and again, I know I'm in a very small school of thought. I'm beginning to think that she kind of got the same rub that Becky got. She just happened to be in the right place at the right time with the right women. Because who else has, other than the other horsewoman, who else has she had a good match with? Charlotte.
You're right.
And I think, because she's really not that... She's athletic as fuck, but, there's a lot of guys who are athletic that don't make good wrestlers. I think she's had a lot of slack handed to her because she's Ric Flair's daughter. I don't I don't put her in the same league as Bayley or Sasha, but Bayley's definitely taking my number one.
I think her character is better all around in the sense of, like, she heals it up really good.
Well, I just hate that they say she comes from the Queen City. I think the Queen City's Kansas City.
I think it is.
I mean, so, like, you're trying to say, like, something to do with Charlotte. Unless she really is from, Kansas City, and it happens to be a happy coincidence that WWE is just banking on. But it's like saying from the Empire State, and they're like, they're trying to build them from, like, Florida. Like, it doesn't work that way.
I'm reading here that Charlotte, North Carolina, is considered the Queen City of the South.
Okay.
So I Googled it just for pure curiosity.
Because I heard it the other day. I thought it was during a football game. And I was like, look at this shit.
Right. But I like Charlotte in the ring with her heel mannerisms, like, I'm better than you, stay down. Like those types of things that like makes up for sometimes her lack of whatever in the ring.
Cincinnati.
Okay.
Was the other one, but that was in the 1800s. Now Queen City is Charlotte.
That's interesting.
It seems to be everywhere it says Charlotte.
And I don't know if you've read this, that after that match, the plan for Hell in a Cell is for Charlotte and Sasha to have a blow-off in the cell.
Really?
Yeah.
That could be cool, or it could end up being like, how do you put it?
Not cool?
That they just use it as a gimmick, but they just have a match inside of the cell.
I know what you mean. That is what I had read the plan was for them.
Well, that's interesting.
I think it would be really cool if they did it. But I don't know, how far they would go. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But you never know. I mean, that'd be interesting as fuck. I'd be interested as fuck to see that, though.
Hell yeah, that would really pique my interest. Alright, dude. SmackDown. What did you think of SmackDown?
SmackDown is just a little bit better.
I really enjoyed the Bray Orton thing through the course of the show.
Yes. So did I.
Like, that was, like, so different,
Yeah, I like what they're doing with them. I need Bray to win.
Yes. And another friend of mine messaged me after that segment on SmackDown, and he goes, holy shit, I think Sister Abigail is going to show up at the pay-per-view.
Who knows? It's possible.
Because, like, the way he was, like, at the end, oh, Abby, you're finally back, and he's, like, singing that song when he first came into WWE about going down to the river. Because that was, like, one of his first promos he cut. So I was like, well, this is really interesting.
Yeah, well, I have no idea, but it would be cool to finally have Sister Abigail show up.
I just hope they don't ruin it and make... Well, you put it up from, and we'll give them a little plug, from What Culture on YouTube. They had a fantastic video on how to book Sister Abigail.
Yeah, they're usually fucking fantastic anyway. But yeah, they had a really good one.
Yeah, I was like, they need to hire this guy.
Yeah, his basic idea was to have it be, what the hell is her name? Alexa Bliss.
Take over, like, pretend to be Sister Abigail.
Yeah, like, don't actually be Sister Abigail, but Bray will buy into it. So, like, I like that whole storyline, that she has control over Bray the whole time.
Yeah, that is basically like a mind control kind of thing.
Yeah, no, I really like that idea.
I think it could work really well. The thing, dude, that made SmackDown win this week for me was the fucking Spirit Squad.
Oh boy, yeah.
Who would have ever saw that coming?
Not me for sure.
Especially Kenny after he's trashed WWE in every shoot interview he's done.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it was definitely something to see.
That was a really cool segment. I thought it was good. But
Yeah,
good.
it's been SmackDown's just been consistently better.
Yes. But it really makes me feel like Ziggler is going to lose.
I don't know. That would be weird. I don't know.
I don't know. That's just the vibe I get.
No, you're right. It's certainly possible.
There was a couple things I didn't like Swagger and Corbin. I'm like, ugh.
Yeah, I liked how that ended, though.
Yeah, I like the ending.
Right, yeah.
I'm not a fan of Corbin.
Oh, no. Me neither. Me neither. I do not like him at all.
Lance says in the chat that he used to like the Spirit Squad back in the day. The moves off the trampoline were cool.
Well, is he a fan of Sin Cara? Because Sin Cara basically does the same shit.
They hide it. You can't see it.
Oh.
Doesn't him and Kalisto do it?
Yeah. See, but then it got less impressive when I saw Cesaro do it in a suit. On a vine.
Yeah.
I mean, that did two things. It made it so unimpressive when I see Kalisto do it, and it made me realize, like, oh, this nigga's crazy.
Yeah. The other thing I didn't care for was the really quick match with, like, Jason Jordan and one of the Usos.
You didn't get that.
I was just like, what is the point?
Yeah, I didn't get that. I mean, other than to, I guess, progress their feud one more week, I really don't know.
Right. Lance said the Spirit Squad almost broke kayfabe and bust out laughing in the ring.
Oh, I would have too.
He said Sin Cara didn't jump off the trampoline and do like clotheslines and things like that.
No. They did not.
What I was gonna say, dude, the other thing that intrigued me, and I guess this is where they're going with the Hype Bros and the Ascension.
At least they're doing something with them, right?
Yeah. Because the Vaudevillains certainly drew the short straw.
Yeah.
I think that all came from Gotch getting in that fist fight and getting his ass kicked.
Possibly. I mean, or the fact that Vince never saw it with them to begin with, so.
Yeah, I think it was kind of both. Like, that didn't help him.
Oh, I'm sure that didn't. Absolutely not.
But it was cool. One thing drives me nuts, though, about SmackDown with the Hype Bros, and my friend Jason brought this up. JBL never calls them the Hype Bros. He always says the Hype Brothers.
Oh, yeah, this is true.
And I'm just like, Jesus, JBL.
Yeah, he's the worst, though. He really is.
Him and Otunga are terrible together.
You know, Tonga's pretty fucking bad.
I know, and if it wasn't for Ronaldo, he kind of saves it.
Oh, kinda isn't the word, but yeah.
Then I liked the ending of the show where they didn't because you thought they were going to talk for like 10 minutes. And then It was just like a quick little thing, and then they started going at it.
Yeah, this is how you gotta do it. People don't want to see talking every week all the time. It gets
No,
old
but
after a
I
while.
liked how they were, as I call it, spitting fire on Cena.
Yeah, it's fun to see Cena in, being made fun of now as opposed to, like, being totally over.
Yeah, when Ambrose called him the lazy part-timer.
Yeah, I cracked up with that. I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, that was pretty funny. Oh yeah, that's the other thing real quick about SmackDown. Kurt Hawkins made his announcement that he's going to debut at the pay-per-view.
That's about time.
I know, like, I liked the concept at first, like with the vignettes, but I think you had mentioned this. This could get really bad really fast.
Yeah. It could get very corny.
And Lance said that Ronaldo called the Spirit Squad the Suicide Squad twice.
Oh boy.
That is funny. Now, dude, I wanted to run down No Mercy with you since it's on Sunday and get your thoughts on the matches.
Alright, go ahead.
Alright, they're saying on Wikipedia the pre-show match is going to be Jack Swagger versus Baron Corbin.
Don't give a flying fuck.
Me neither. That makes two of us.
I don't know. They had Swagger come over with a bit of a storyline, so it would make no sense to have him come back and just job. I don't know. I really don't know. But I don't know where they stand on Corbin. But I'm gonna pick Swagger. How about you?
Yeah, I agree with you, because at least they've given, like, Swagger something to work with, you know what I mean? Like a storyline kind of bit. It's just like they threw Corbin in there with him, you know what I mean?
They're giving Corbin the Ryback gimmick, the pre-show stealer.
And Lance, to answer your question, yes, Kurt Hawkins was one of the fake Edge guys.
Yes, he was an Edgehead.
With
Zack Ryder. Yes.
Because he was saying the tag team, that's who it was, the Edgeheads.
They were the Major Brothers first.
Yes, that's true. Alright, next, I don't know who they're going to put him with, but it says Kurt Hawkins versus To Be Determined.
On the pre-show or on the main show?
The main show.
Nobody important.
I'd have to think it's going to be an enhancement guy.
Or like Jinder Mahal.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I understand. Or like that awful, like, milkman guy they had a couple weeks ago.
Oh, Jesus.
I mean, I don't wish that on him, but I mean someone of, like, not importance.
Yeah, probably.
I agree, like Lance said, ugh, Corbin is just so whatever.
I agree.
After that, I wish they added a stipulation to this match. Maybe they're going to do it at the next pay-per-view. Nikki Bella versus Carmella.
I hope Nikki Bella wins. That says a lot.
I know you don't care for Carmella.
I didn't like her down in NXT either. The New York accent, I mean, like, the fact that I like Enzo and Cash just speaks volumes of how good it is.
Yeah.
Because I don't watch, like, Brooklyn TV shows. Like, I mean, I'm proud to be from Brooklyn, but I don't get the whole gangsta talk like an idiot, like, any fucking mafia guy thing. I never have.
Yeah, well, the reason it works for them is because Enzo is from North Jersey and Cass is from New York.
But even with that, like, even the stereotypical, like, I hate guys like that in real life. I really do. But it's like Enzo it's such a parody, where it's done so perfectly that I can enjoy it. In real life, he'd probably annoy the fuck out of me. but he's funny, and I can, like, he's very witty, and I can laugh at that.
Right, I agree with you. The thing, though, it's like, I thought Nikki Bella and Carmella would have, like, a street fight, or no DQ, or some kind, because where Carmella is, like, kept interrupting, like, match after match after match of hers, you know what I mean?
No, you're right.
Like, something to make it, like, okay, you can't get away with this anymore, you know what I mean?
No, I agree. Like, a blow-off stipulation match.
Unless they're trying to squeeze, like, one more match out of it, I don't know.
I hope not. Pay-per-views are for blow-offs.
No, I agree with you. I'm going to go Nikki Bella, too, because eventually I think she's going to be the one to get the SmackDown title.
Yeah, I don't see him going to Carmella yet, because she wasn't brought up immediately because she wasn't, like, didn't consider her ready, so I don't see them putting the strap on her.
No. And the only one I think that would even be close to being ready is Nikki Bella. Alright, next match we have Randy Orton versus Bray Wyatt.
I hope Bray goes over.
I hope so too. But my fear is Vince is going to let Orton go over because everything I've read is Vince has big plans for Orton and Styles later, either the end of the year, like in December, or the beginning of 2017.
See, what I don't want to happen is something like, well, it sounds cool on paper, the long-term aspect of it is bad for Bray, is I don't want Luke Harper to come back and turn on Bray.
Right.
Because not only would Bray lose now, he'd probably lose to Luke Harper at the end of their feud.
Yeah, well, from everything I read, he's going to be a Raw guy.
Huh, okay.
Because he just came back at one of the live shows in Europe. Or wherever the hell they are.
Oh, okay.
I can't remember where they're at, but he was in the main event with Owens as his tag team partner.
Interesting.
I know, I thought that was really interesting.
Yeah, he's a great big man worker.
Super underrated.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, my heart says that Bray Wyatt is going to win this, but, like, my head tells me that they're probably going to let Orton win to get, like, his momentum back.
Yeah, I think I'm going to go with that answer.
And that pains me to say that because, in my opinion, Bray Wyatt needs to win more than Randy Orton.
Bray Wyatt's needed a win for a long time. Since he fought Undertaker at WrestleMania.
Yeah. I think he was finally going to get that big push with the thing with Reigns, where they teased, like, him as a good guy, and then
he got hurt? Yeah.
Well, what are you going to do? Next, we have The Miz versus Ziggler for the Intercontinental title.
I'm going with Ziggler. I think that Miz has done enough to change his character a little bit to stop being such a comedy act. I think he's used the title to do it. I don't see what him being champion could do more so for the belt or for him. I don't see him benefiting any further.
Well, that makes sense with what you're saying.
I think for Miz, it would be better to drop the title, chase it for a little bit, and then move on to something else. He doesn't need the title anymore. He successfully turned from a haha, look at me, I'm a, WWE was smart for once. They took a gimmick that could really be over the top and gimmicky and funny and silly, and they made it serious. Like, they found a way to take the same gimmick, and instead of being a joke, now he's a heel instead of being like a ha-ha, let's see what the Miz is.
Yeah, he's legitimized.
Yeah, he still has the same gimmick. Like, look, there's Zack Ryder, and then there's Robbie E from TNA. And then there's Enzo, which is a completely different take on the exact same gimmick. Yeah. Now Miz is he's, like, there's Rick the Model Martel, there's Tyler Breeze, and then there's the Miz. Miz was in that other category for a little bit.
he's really won me over with his work in the ring.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, like, look, perfect example. If you didn't know, and I told you that there was a wrestling tax accountant, you'd probably laugh and assume he was a comedy gimmick. But knowing wrestling, you know who IRS is and who Mike Rotunda is, and know that there was nothing comedy about his wrestling whatsoever. And he got over the gimmick as a tough accountant.
And considering he ran with that gimmick for about, I'll say, like a good 5 years.
He was a legitimate wrestler with a stupid gimmick that he made work.
You're right. I'll go with Ziggler too, because you kind of convinced me with what you're saying.
I mean, look, that's the smart thing to do, and then you give Ziggler the belt, and now Ziggler gets to beat Miz and can get to build Ziggler a little bit. I don't know if that's what WWE is going to do. I don't know what contract stuff is going on. I thought Dolph signed an extension, but if you're going to do what's best for business, that's what you do, and you let Dolph hold the title for a while, and let him go feud with somebody else.
Right. All right. Next, we have Heath Slater and Rhino versus the Usos for the SmackDown Tag Team titles.
I think they break up Rhino and Heath momentarily, so I see the Usos winning it, because I don't think that Heath needs Rhino anymore. I think he's over enough that if they continue just featuring him in some kind of a story, he'll continue to stay over. I don't think he needs to be the centerpiece anymore. And to get the titles over, put them on an established team like the Usos.
Here's an interesting thought real quick. Lance put in the chat that he thinks the Spirit Squad is going to help The Miz to beat Ziggler.
Okay, but what do you do with Ziggler from there? Because Miz pointed out very specifically, I don't mean go to Raw. I don't mean leave for 6 months and come back.
Yeah.
I mean, if Ziggler did sign a contract extension, which I think he did a couple months back, where do you go with the story from there?
Right,
and,
I agree with you. But I also agree with you with your thought about the Usos winning the tag titles, because most people don't know Rhino is running for political office where he lives.
Yes. Yeah, he's running for, House of Representatives, which, as small of a position as that is, because he could still be a wrestler.
But it's incredibly time-consuming.
I don't know, Mike. Go Google how often these people actually show up for work, and I think you would be
surprised.
Yeah, I mean, maybe you wouldn't be surprised, but it's definitely a lower number than expected. Like, a lot of these people don't even show up for votes on things.
That's wild when you think about it.
And they get paid hundreds of $1,000s a year to do it.
But I agree with you that Slater doesn't need Rhino anymore. He's one of the most over guys on SmackDown.
But they gotta continue featuring him in some way, shape, or form.
Yes. Plus, I thought the plan would be all along for the Usos to be the heel tag team champions and have American Alpha chasing them.
And I think, and now for the long run, it would help build the titles up a little bit because you have an established team holding it. And then when the baby faces finally chase and win, they won a more established title.
Yes. Like, I figure they would win it at, one of the big 4 shows.
Yeah, which would make more sense.
Yeah, because it would mean something.
No, I agree with you fully. I mean, but then again, we said that about Sasha and SummerSlam, and she won the title before SummerSlam, dropped it, and then won it again a month later.
Yeah, who knows?
All right. I mean... No, go ahead.
No, I was going to say your thought.
Oh, the painkiller is fully going, and I just smoked the blunt, so I vaguely even remember starting this.
Nah, it's okay. moving right along, we have Becky Lynch versus Alexa Bliss for the SmackDown Women's title.
Hey, don't even think about it, Kat. Hold on. She likes laying on top of my Xbox, which is warm, and she has to jump from my bed up on top of my chest of drawers, and it's up there. And she missed before, and she hit the floor like a ton of bricks, and she's up to do it again. And it's like, no, I'm not letting you do that. You're going to get hurt. Definitely my cat. But I think Becky Lynch is going to retain.
I agree. I think they're going to have a better match than most people think.
Yeah, no, I mean, like, I shit on Alexa Bliss, but she's really not terrible in the ring.
No, she's gotten much better.
Yeah, no, she's, she was one of, like, the ones that just got lost because of the Four Horsewomen. But if they weren't there, I think she would have shone brightly. Plus, she's, she's small. She can play a good heel. I just don't like the fact that they have her blatantly ripping off Harley. I don't like when WWE does that. When they take something in pop culture.
Her idea.
Well, I mean, like, Morrow has actually gone as far as to say SmackDown's Harley Quinn. Like, I don't like when they steal things blatantly from pop culture.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
It's just a peeve of mine. Some people may think it's really cool, and for some people it may be. And by no means, like, I just know that that's a personal peeve of mine. That the original.
It's just not your cup of tea.
Yeah, especially since growing up, and maybe some people here would know that, but if you like comics when I was a kid, man, the hot girls weren't at the fucking comics.
Nope.
You were beaten up and made fun of it if people knew you like comic books and cartoons and video games and stuff like that. Dude,
I'm going to say this, and if there's attractive women listening to this, I apologize as I say this, but you will probably attest to this. If you go to indie wrestling shows, or just wrestling shows in general, most of the women that go to wrestling shows are not attractive.
Bro, I can't even begin. Like, I have a problem with morbid obesity, and it's not to make fun of people, but it's like, you don't wake up 400 pounds. You don't wake up one day and be 350 pounds overweight. So I don't want to hear excuses. Like, unless you have like a real medicinal problem that you take pills for, I don't want to hear about like why you weigh 600 pounds. Like, I don't have respect for people. I don't care if it hurts your feelings. I don't, it's like, maybe that makes me an asshole.
I'm just
but I see these people like
I don't want certain women to be upset if they listen to this and hear me say that, but it's the truth.
No, a large percentage aren't. That doesn't mean that there aren't good-looking women. I mean, like, I get very surprised when I come across a attractive woman who likes wrestling.
Yeah.
Just because the fact is, there just aren't a lot.
No, not.
That's not to say that. It's not to say that anybody who will not ever listen to this is either ugly or not. But go to wrestling shows. Take a look, especially indie shows. Take a look at what's in the audience. I mean. Are there hot ones? Absolutely. I know quite a few that are like, wow, how the fuck you a wrestling fan? Like, but, and there's quite a few that are like ginormous, they smell, they look inbred, and you're like, these are facts of life. Like,
oh man, you have me cracking up over here.
But it's just like, again, like,
I know.
That's what's offensive to some people. Like, you see somebody with an ugly shirt, you say, I think that's an ugly shirt. People say, that's mean. No, that's not mean. That's ugly. I mean, don't go tell them to their face, but you're entitled to an opinion, I mean, look around. That's all I can ever tell people. But, okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah. All right, well, I'm going to cut it off and say Becky Lynch wins as well. Now, to the main event, AJ Styles versus Dean Ambrose versus John Cena for the WWE Championship.
John Cena takes the pinfall, AJ retains the title, John leaves to go do his TV show for a couple months.
Yep. I just don't know if Styles is going to pin Cena clean or if he's going to pin Ambrose. But either way, he's walking out with the belt.
See, the only reason why I think maybe Cena is because he's leaving. So, because there really is no clean in this because it's a triple threat.
Yeah, I was kind of hoping what they would do is, like, say, Styles, Cena clean, but maybe during the match, like, say, Cena costs Ambrose a chance at winning, and at the end, like, Ambrose snaps and turns, like, heel and, like, beats the snot out of him, so there's a reason for Cena to leave, and then he has, like, a built-in feud when he comes back.
Yeah, they have to at least, because I don't see them turning Ambrose heel, because who's their top babyface then?
Right.
That's their problem for not having a backup, but
Just
they have. Oh yeah, I know. I'm an asshole. Plus, I am baked out of my face right now with these damn pills. I have no idea.
I know.
I keep forgetting we're live.
No, you're fine, dude. I want to talk about a couple other things before we get out of here. I wanted to bring up the Alberto Del Rio incident that he had that caused him to miss his show at AAA.
Yo, Mexico's a scary place, bro. But wasn't he in Texas, though?
He was in San Antonio.
Yeah, San Antonio's a scary place, bro. I don't even know what to say. Did they ever come out and say, like, motive or who did it or why? Because I saw the pictures. I read one article, but I don't know if there was anyone there.
I had read that they think it was like a homeless person that like attacked him.
Didn't somebody else just get attacked too?
Yes, Jamie Noble.
Yeah, okay, Jamie Noble was just stabbed by a bunch of bikers.
Yes.
Jesus Christ, what's wrong with this world?
But this is the thing. He said that he filed a report, and the police, like, when they were, like, called, media outlets called them to verify it, they said, we don't have a report of that.
What, Jamie Noble?
No, the Del Rio thing. So, there's been rumors, as I say this, rumors that he is covering up for Paige. That Paige did it.
Yeah, but where are these rumors coming from? Like, this is what kills me.
I know.
I mean, like, some guy on Reddit who probably hasn't seen a vagina since he fell out of one. I mean, like, how do people even say this? I mean, like, I guarantee you, these fucking idiots, the first thing that they thought of, oh, Paige probably did it. WWF's ex-wife probably did it. Why? Because it's sensational. Because it's the most ridiculous possible answer that's out there. That's why I hate the IWC. Because it's like they do this with everything.
No. That's why I tried to very, make my case that this is just rumors. Because it was just weird. If Del Rio filed a report on what happened, then it should be with the department.
Oh, no, I agree with you. No, I mean, I could see what people would insinuate, but it's just...
Yeah, there's no validity to it yet.
Yeah, people just do that with everything. Because, okay, is anybody saying... maybe it was Jamie Noble's wife or girlfriend? No, because she's not a famous wrestler. The only people say it's Paige is because they know who she is.
I know what you mean. Like, Jamie Noble is just, like a mid-card guy. Del Rio was a world champion.
Well, no, just the whole point of, like, no one saying, oh, was it Jamie Noble's girlfriend? Or was it Jamie Noble's wife? The only reason why they're saying it could be Del Rio's girlfriend is because they know who Paige is.
Yep.
Paige is a wrestler. That's exactly. It. I mean, like, there's no more validity to, like, there's no more assumption to that than there is for Jamie Noble being attacked.
It's just like
saying that maybe it's his girlfriend.
Yeah, but the whole, like, situation with that Del Rio thing is just weird.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, if they have a hospital record, I mean, I don't know.
Because it literally, and I'm pretty sure you've seen the photos.
Oh, yeah.
It literally looks like someone just took, like, a small knife and cut and, like, sliced him every, like, 3 inches, like, perfectly.
That or it looked like somebody grabbed him with nails.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you were in a struggle or, like, someone attacked you, you wouldn't think that there would be, like, everyone was almost perfectly done at the same, like, spacing, you know?
Yeah, that and the cut on his head was weird. It looked more like he got bashed in the head with something.
Yes, that is true.
Because I think that was, like, in the very back of his head, and how do you stab somebody back there? Especially, he's a tall motherfucker.
Yeah, he's like 6'4".
Yeah, and he's long. Unless the guy came from behind him, I don't know. But...
There's just, like, a lot of questions that aren't being answered right now.
But then again, I haven't seen a police report. He says he filed one. I haven't seen a hospital report, so I really have nothing to go on, so... I don't know. If it comes out, it comes out, but at the end of the day...
No, I agree with you. I wanted your opinion on the whole Impact Wrestling, where it looks like Vince has bought the library to TNA, and that Corgan is going to officially be taking over, I'm assuming, at the beginning of the year.
See, when that came out, I was looking around, and I came across an article that had basically said what the rumor was, and then it's an update. It was like 3-something, and it said Bob Ryder, who works for TNA, and he was talking about that the numbers were wrong. But if the condition is that WWE bought the library and Billy Corgan is just going to take the company and rebrand it, and basically that would be TNA just going out of existence right there. And that's the best possible outcome.
I was going to say it's the best thing for them, where they could basically start off 2017 as a different brand and be just completely fresh. And Vince gets what he wants, which is the libraries with different guys that work for him now that are on those libraries, and they could throw it right up on the network.
Oh, absolutely. No, again, if this is true, I think it's fucking fantastic.
It's a win-win for everyone.
Yeah, which is why I'm taking it as with a grain of salt, because it seems too perfect. If it did, then awesome. But, I look forward to being able to see old TNA stuff.
Some of the old TNA stuff was fantastic.
I would easily go back and start watching, like the first week pay-per-views and stuff like that when they were introducing everybody. Like, that's a lesson on how to open up a company. And in the beginning, they were doing good considering, how they started on pay-per-view only. Like, I was a huge TNA mark. Bro, I remember, TNA nights were as big as Raw nights.
Yeah, I remember you met Dixie.
Bro, by that time, I think TNA started to go down, but yes, you're right. There were times in the mid-2000s when it was Joe and Angle, and then, Joe and Desmond Wolfe, where it was a legitimate contender. But then I laugh at things, I've been spending a lot of time watching, and if you haven't watched it yet, the Sting, 1 hour thing that they did on Sting returning to the WWE.
Yes.
There's one point he says, it kind of makes me, angry that I didn't do this sooner. And he sounds so giddy. And it doesn't sound like it's done to make a dig at TNA. It just sounds like this is a legitimate thing he's asking himself. Like, wow, why didn't I do this sooner?
Yeah, why didn't I do this sooner? I'm kicking myself.
But that's interesting to hear in light of the time he spent in TNA. Because he's trying to... I don't know if it's in his contract or if it's just he's a good enough guy not to, but he really hasn't said a lot pointedly bad about TNA.
No, but he doesn't seem like that kind of guy that would, really trash somebody. Because he could have did it with WCW and he never did.
No, but he's been very honest about WCW,
yeah,
which he really hasn't about he's mentioned things with the Jeff Hardy thing. He's mentioned about how there was a time where people weren't really in control, but all his actions shit on the fact that he spent too much time in TNA. He's kind of like, well, what can you do about it? When he's asked about it, you can see he doesn't say. But I wonder how much all of that will change if WWE gets to TNA and they can talk about it. I wonder if people will be, because AJ's another one that when they bring up the time he spent elsewhere, he kind of gets a lot of joy of shitting on TNA.
Yeah, he kind of like just, skips right over it.
But Dixie really fucked with him. No. He really drops digs at TNA Styles. He really does. Like, he doesn't avoid it, even on WWE things. Because they had him on the Edge and Christian show and...
Oh, yeah, you're right. I remember that now.
And they've done it on other WWE-sponsored things where they've kind of jokingly brought up him working for another company where he's always making kind of a silly face or he makes a comment, like, negative. Like, it's been bad because I've noticed it a couple times, and I can't remember the other two examples.
I remember the one from the Ed Christian show where they're like, can we talk about TNA?
Yes.
No!
And then it showed Test and Albert with in the middle.
Yeah. That was pretty funny. I gotta give him that.
So, I mean, and then he's had less subtle digs on other things that I just remember hearing over time. And it's like, wow,
I have to say, though, since Corgan has kind of taken over, the show has gotten better.
Yeah, except for the Grand Championship, because that shit's just terrible.
Yeah, that's a joke. It's just really hard for me, and I know I shouldn't think this way because it's just, a show and everything, like with wrestling, and it's different in real life, but anytime somebody like Billy Corgan goes on Alex Jones's show, I lose, like, complete respect for that person.
Yeah, he was on Alex Jones?
Yeah, he's, like, goes on there all the time.
Oh, man, I liked Billy Corgan.
I know, I said the same thing. I'm like, oh no. That's the one thing I haven't liked that he's done, what you mentioned, that MMA Grand Champion belt.
Yeah, no. I know Jesus says not to be a judgmental person, but I don't believe in that shit to begin with, so I'm a judgmental son of a bitch.
So, start judging away.
Yeah, no, I mean, if you vote for Bill Clinton, or if you go on shows like Alex Jones, I'm gonna judge your fucking ass.
Did you actually see Impact this week?
No, I completely forgot this. Like, I forget that it's on, and I usually catch up on the weekends, but no. I did see, the pay-per-view, and the Great War was the greatest thing I've ever seen.
That was crazy.
It was so over the top, it was ridiculous, but it's exactly what I wanted and expected, and I know wrestling is fake, I know wrestling's entertainment. That was one of the most entertaining things I've ever seen. And if you could get over yourself and just sit there and enjoy what you're watching, because nothing in wrestling is real. You know this already. Put that fucking feeling aside for enjoyment. Please look it up on YouTube. If not, look it up on Daily Motion. If I'll find it. If you need it, message me on Facebook. I promise I'll find it. It's worth the time to sit down and watch. It's one of the greatest things because it's so ridiculous. And if you're going to be a fan, you might as well just laugh your ass off at how ridiculous it is to be a wrestling fan.
You should be excited. They're coming to WrestlePro next month.
So many people come to WrestlePro, bro. I mean, I'm so happy it's here. I wish I drove so I can come closer. I do hope to go to the one next weekend, but that's all contingent on my shoulder.
Yeah, no, the Hardys are coming to the November show.
Oh, yeah, no, I know, but that's in Jersey. That's not in Brooklyn.
Oh, okay.
And while it's not far, if it's driving, it's right through Staten Island and right over the bridge. Rahway is right over there. If I go via MTA, you know how the MTA goes. I got to go into Manhattan first, which I live right by Staten Island. Like, if I go by car, I go right in Staten Island. I'll be in Staten Island 5 minutes from my house.
Right.
I drive across Staten Island. I go over to the outer bridge, and I'm in Broadway. It takes 30 minutes at most. It takes me 45 just to get to the train from my house.
Jesus.
Yeah, I'm in South Brooklyn. If you look at a map, I am right by the water and right by the Verrazano Bridge. That's one of the furthest parts in Brooklyn away from Manhattan. Which is nice because, we don't have tourists over here. But it sucks because it's so far away from everything.
Gotcha.
I know, I'm rambling.
I was going to say, for those that aren't familiar, Bobby Lashley lost his title on Impact this week.
Did he really? To whom?
Eddie Edwards.
Ah, fuck. I don't like Eddie Edwards or, the other one that was his tag team partner.
Oh, I know who you mean, but the name's escaping me.
Oh my god. And I'll tell you a story off air, but it's like this, it's like the saddest story, and it involves him, and I can't remember his name.
But anyway, I was annoyed by that because it's like this little guy, Eddie Edwards, is going to beat Lashley.
I don't know. But yeah, no, you're 100% right. I don't care.
Unless he's leaving to go do MMA stuff or coming back to WWE or I don't know what the hell.
I don't know.
Just throwing it out there. And now I don't know what's going on with Cody because Cody put on his Twitter or whatever, thank you to TNA. I don't know if he worked the tapings. I know he worked the pay-per-view, but he's doing a run over in the UK now.
Well, if he worked the tapings, then
I'm
he's
not
probably...
sure.
Huh.
Because he put up this big thank you to TNA after his pay-per-view match that made it feel like, yeah, this is the only match I'm working, see you later.
Wait, what pay-per-view? He had a match at the pay-per-view?
Yeah.
No, he didn't. He came out and had a confrontation. I don't remember him fighting.
Okay, then it must have been the tapings. Never mind.
Yeah, because he just came out and kind of had a face-to-face with Mike Bennett when Mike Bennett said he was shutting down the show.
Yes, you're right.
And I don't really remember them scrapping.
You're right, I apologize. I sound like you now, the one on the pills.
Oh, no, I mean, I hadn't even taken pills yet. There's a good chance that it's just wiped from my memory. I don't trust my memory at all right now. It's scary as fuck. I'm not a fan. I don't know how people could fucking do this. I really don't. Bro, if there's anybody out there who has a drug problem and you abuse pills, talk to me so I can get you off of this shit, because I don't know how the fuck you live. It's terrible.
No, I know what you mean, dude. It's bad.
I battle between being super nauseous like I'm going to throw up and then just being super high. Where it's not the fun high, it's just I'm whacked out of my face and it's good for sleeping, that's about it.
No, I know exactly what you're saying.
Yeah, it's being overly drunk. No good. Hopefully that it won't be too much longer in this. I mean, I'm kind of used to it though.
Right,
the hard part's over. I got friends like you who are always asking me how I'm doing, so I'll get through it.
Right. All right, everybody, before we get out of here tonight, I want to shout out to our social media pages if you want to check them out. It's facebook.com/American Sports Connection, or on Twitter, it is @AM Sports Con, CON Pod, POD. So don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share, all that good stuff, and we will see you back next week. Have a good night, everybody.